Good afternoon. Rashmi, hope you all are at home, safe. So today we are going to learn about system, a theory class, parapsychology system. In objectives of this particular class, you should be able to understand after the class the characteristics of systems, classification of systems, morphology of systems, what are pseudo-Pythagorean system, example is diphylogenetic species, spermatospecies, cyclophyllid systems, example is Tinea, Echinococcus, Hymenopithecus, Liphidium, and few expected questions we'll see. So today is sisters part 1. So we are going to learn about diphylogenetic and Tinea species. So let's start. Classification of medically important systems. Order Pseudophyllidea, family Diphylogenetridae, genus is Diphylogenetridae, Spirometra is another genus. Cyclophyllidea, order as family Tineidae, genus Tinea, and Echinococcus. Another family in Cyclophyllidea are Hymenoplectidae. It means genus Hymenoplectus. Diphylidae, that includes genus Diphylia. Classification based on their habitat, which resides in human intestine. Adult worm of cystors resides in human intestine or intestinal cystors. Diphylogenetic species, Tinea sodium, Tinea saginata, responsible for causing intestinal teniasis. Hymenoplectus species, Diphylidium species. Classification of the cystors based on habitat, cystors which resides in tissue, larval forms of these cystors residing in human muscles, organs. Example is Tinea sodium, causing cysticercosis, Tinea multisepsis, Echinococcus species, Spirometra species. Morphology of these cystors, they exist in 3 different morphological forms, the entire life cycle, adult worm, egg, larva. So adult worm usually found in intestine of human and animals, shape that is long, segmented, flattened dorsoventrally. It's snake-like, so it's called as big worm. Size varies from millimeters to several meters. Smallest tapeworm is Echinana, 1 to 4 centimeters. Longest one is Diphylogenetridae, measuring 10 meters or more. Body structure, it is 3 parts: head, or scolex, neck, strobila, that is body or trunk. Head or scolex, Cyclophyllidea cystors. Scolex has 4 cup-like muscles. 4 cup-like muscular suckers, or they are also known as acetabula. In some species like Tinea sodium, Echinana, scolex has a beak-like apical protrusion known as rossetella, which may be armed with hooklets such as tapeworm and known as arm scolex or arm tapeworm. These are the part of worm that anchors the worm to the intestinal epithelium, and it prevents that the worm is passed with the digested food. So it keeps a firm attachment. With the help of these scolex, they get the firm attachment to the epithelium, which prevent their washing up along with the digested food. There are different types of scolex. Cyclophyllidea cystors carry cup-like muscular suckers, which we have seen here. They are rossetella and present, also known as armed with the hooks, and they are present in Tinea sodium, which is a cyclophyllidea cystor. In pseudophyllidea cystors, scolex doesn't have suckers. They have scolex has grooves, and they are known as pothria. So this pothria, it attaches to the small intestine. For example, in case of Diphylogenetridae species, adult worm has neck and strobila. Neck is next to head, from which the proglottids or segment arises. Strobila is the body or trunk which of the cystole, which is surrounded by the body wall, or it is known as ligament. Number of segments decides the length of that particular adult one. So more the prototid numbers, more is the, or maximum is the length of that particular one. Proglottids, they have reproductive organs, both male and female forms. The three types of proglottids are present: immature, mature, and gravid. The immature one has male and female reproductive organs, but they cannot be differentiated. Mature segment of proglottids has male and female organs in the same segment. Gravid segment, following fertilization, the uterus gets filled with the eggs and other organs are atrophied. So this is a picture of proglottid, mature proglottid. This is a picture of adult worm, hopefully diphylean proglottid. Female reproductive organ, it is present in ventral side of the worm and consists of a pilot ovary present in the middle and posteriorly, oviduct which arises from ovary and joins with the spermatic duct and opens into ootype. Ootype is a chamber where fertilization takes place. It can be self-fertilization, vagina, a tube that connects genital cord to the ootype through which sperm enters, resides, vagina, a tube that connects genital cord to the ootype through which sperm enters. Inside it has a seminal, which is an organ for storage of sperm, and spermatic duct. Uterus, a straight tube for storage of egg after fertilization in gravid female. Pseudophyllidien, the end of this particular uterus is open, and in cyclophyllidien it is closed or blank sac. Reproductive system of male, which is present on upper side and has testes, vas deferens, testis. It exists as multiple follicles in each none of the three in number. Sperms are released in vas efferentia and joined to the tubercle or vas deferens. Vas deferens, a convoluted tubule, opens in common genital pore as seminal vesicle, ends in common genital pore as a swollen muscular and protrusible organ, which is called as cris. This is equal to penis surrounded by crista. So this is a schematic diagram of a mature proglottid. Has various organs such as uterus, vas deferens, sponge, genital pore, vagina, seminal receptacle, petioline, duct, excretory canal, vas efferentia, testis, ureter. Okay. Circulatory system is absent here. Body wall or tegument made up of three layers after microvillus cell structure called as microthreads. Middle of the cell plasma membrane, inner vascular. Egg, which is the next morphological form. Eggs are released into uterus following fertilization and filled with gravid proglottids. Pseudophyllidien systems, they have ovoid eggs or populated surrounded by a single layer called as egg-shell or capsule, inside which embryo present with two plates, which are three pairs. Membrane lining the embryo is ciliated. Eggs, when laid first, the pieces are not embryonated. Maturation takes place in water. Eggs of cyclophyllidien systems are round to oval, covered with two layers. Outer layer is an eggshell or capsule filled with yolk-like material. It is thin, so might be lost. Inner layer is a thick, radially striated. Embryo core is surrounded by the embryo. Eggs are embryonated from the beginning, consist of six booklets, but lining membrane is not ciliated. So you can see the difference between the eggs, and this can be a differentiating question. That pseudophyllidien systems eggs, they are ovoid or populated surrounded by single layer. Cyclophyllidien eggs are round to oval. They are surrounded by two bilayers, eggshell and another one, and they are not ciliated. Pseudophyllidien are ciliated. Pseudophyllidien first laid in the fresh eggs are not embryonated. Cyclophyllidien are embryonated from the beginning. Pseudophyllidien has three pairs of booklets. There are six circlets are there. So these are the differentiating features of the eggs. Here also the diagrammatic representation diagrams in which you can differentiate between the eggs of cystose. Diagram A shows pseudophylidine cystode egg which is having operculum and knob. Sorry. Diagram B, cyclophylidine cystode. Diagram C, cyclophylidine cystode egg after the loss of eggshell. So, cyclophylidine cystode with the eggshell has eggshell, embryo 4, embryo 3 pairs of hooklets, and after loss of embryo 4, there is presence of 3 pairs of hooklets and embryo surrounded by the embryo 4. Larva is the next morphological form. Embryonated eggs undergo further development to form larva. Pseudophylidine cystode larva are solid without any sac. There are morphological forms or larval stages. First is coracidia, first stage of Diphyllobothrium larva. Pre-coracidia, second stage larva of Diphyllobothrium species. Plerocercoid larva, that is the third stage larva of Diphyllobothrium. Spargany, that is the larval stage of Spirometra. Cyclophylidine cystode, they have a larva with bladder-like sac. So here also differentiation is that there is no sac here, bladder-like sac is present. Cysticercus, larval stage of Tunia, hydrated cyst, larval stage of Echinococcus. Cyonorus, that is the larval stage of Multisepsis, cysticercoid, larval stage of Hymenopteris. So diagram represents larval stage of cyclophylidine cystodes, Cysticercus bovis A, diagram B, cysticercoid, diagram C, Cysticercus cellulosa, diagram E, hydrated cyst. Life cycle in general, they have to complete their life cycle in two hosts, definitive and intermediate host. Hymenopteris requires only one host, that is human. Diphyllobothrium requires three hosts. First, definitive host, human. Two intermediate hosts, cyclophile, fish. So this can be an MCQ. Which cystode require only one host? Which cystode require three hosts? First definitive and two intermediate. So intermediate host harbors immature form of the parasite insect of the herbivorous vertebrate that ingests parasitic eggs. Definitive host harbors mature form of the parasite, carnivorous or omnivorous mammals that acquires the infection by consuming larval stage of undercooked tissue of an intermediate host. Classification of cystodes, pseudophylidine cystodes, slit-like groups are present, Bothrya, Diphyllobothrium lactam, fish tapeworm, cyclophylidine cystode, cup-like and round surface are present, Acetabula, Taenia saginata, a beef tapeworm, Taenia solium, oak tapeworm, Amnolepis nana, calf tapeworm, Echinococcus granulosus, dog tapeworm, larval stage is present in that, and Taenia saginata, sodium, Amnolepis all are present in adult worms are present in intestine. So start with Diphyllobothrium lactam, a fish tapeworm. Definitive host is human. First intermediate host is cyclop. Second intermediate host is fish. Infective form is the third stage larva, that is pleocercoid larva. Mode of transmission, ingestion. Site of localization is small intestine. So hosts are definitive and intermediate host. Definitive host are the humans. Rarely, the definitive host can be dog, cat, or foxes. Intermediate hosts are up to first intermediate host is freshwater cephalopods, mainly the genera Cyclops. Second intermediate host are the freshwater fish. After that, there comes the third stage pleocercoid larva, which is the infective form for human. Mode of transmission for infection in human is humans get infected by incision of undercooked meat. Freshwater fish containing third stage pleocercoid larva. Humans acquire infection by consumption of undercooked fish containing pleocercoid larva, third stage. Development in definitive host. In the human intestine, pleocercoid larva is liberated in intestine and develop into adult worm. Adult worm attaches to the mucosa of small intestine with the help of Bothrya. Adult worms become sexually immature. In 4 weeks, fertilization takes place and begin to lay the eggs. Millions of eggs are released every day. Eggs are operculated. Development in freshwater, embryonation and formation of first stage larva, coracidium. Eggs are unembryonated when passed in freshly in water through feces, become embryonated after 8 to 12 days in fresh water at 16 to 20 degrees Celsius. These are the ciliated embryo. These are released through operculum of the egg into fresh water, which known as the first stage larva, Coracidium, which is the infective form for the second stage larva. So the development of first intermediate host from L1 to L2 transformation, Coracidium swims in the water and survives only for the next 12 hours, within which it has to be ingested by the small CO4 cyclops of diaptomyces. It loses the cilia and penetrates in the intestine, enters the body cavity of CO4, where it transforms within 2 to 3 weeks into 0.5 millimeter non-significant stage pre-serpoid larva, which is the infective stage for freshwater fish. So you can see here also MCQ, Coracidium is the first stage larva, which is the infective form for second stage, first stage intermediate host, that is CO4, and in CO4 there is transformation of second stage larva, pre-serpoid larva, which is the infective form for the second intermediate host, that is the freshwater host. Development of second intermediate host and transformation of L2 into L3. Freshwater fishes get infected by ingestion of CO4s containing second larval stage, that is pre-serpoid larva. Pre-serpoid larva penetrates the intestine of fish, migrates to its muscle, liver, fat of the fish, where it gets transformed from L2 to L3 in the next 1 to 3 weeks, become elongated, measuring about 10 to 20 millimeter into 2 to 3 millimeter in size. This third stage larva is known as pleocercoid larva, which is the effective form for human and cycle repeated like this. Another terminology is here, that is the paratenic host. If small fishes are eaten by the big fishes, then pleocercoid larva penetrates the intestine of the bigger fish and survives there without further development. There is no transformation, there is no development in the morphology. This type of host is known as paratenic host, where they only survive and the host only harbors the parasite. There is no disease caused by the parasite, there is no morphological development, and it is not even essential for the life cycle of that particular parasite. So D-lantern, which is you can see the diagrammatic representation of life cycle here. Human aqueous infection by ingestion of undercooked fish containing pleocercoid larva, first stage larva. Pleocercoid larva is liberated in the intestine, develop into adult worm. Adult worm attaches to the mucosa of small intestine. Fertilization takes place. Apopulated eggs are liberated within 10 to 12 days. Embryonated eggs are liberated in fishes. Freshwater Coracidium in the freshwater, which is the first stage larva, to get ingested by the cyclope, transform into cyclope into pre-serpoid second stage larva after 12 hours. After 2 to 3 weeks, the pre-serpoid larva, which is the second stage larva, pre-serpoid larva is ingested along with the CO4 by the freshwater fish, which is the second intermediate host, and first intermediate host is the cyclope. Inside the second intermediate host, pleocercoid larva reaches to the muscle of the fish or viscera of the fish, where it gets transformed into third stage larva of the pleocercoid larva, which is the infective form for humans, and humans get infection by ingestion of undercooked fish containing pleocercoid larva. That is what third stage larva cycle repeats like this. Okay, so pathogenesis and clinical feature. Most of the D-lantern infection are asymptomatic. Minor manifestations may include abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, vomiting, weakness, weight loss, rarely acute abdominal pain, and intestinal obstruction. Chylomonitis and cholecystitis may be produced by migrating promoters. Vitamin B12 deficiency is there, which is due to the adult worm, which absorbs large quantity of vitamin B12 and interferes with the EBL B12 absorption. Vitamin B12 deficiency can lead to megaloblastic anemia. In some people, it may exhibit neurologic symptoms like paresthesia. So, laboratory diagnosis, stool examination can demonstrate A gamma proglotids. Blood examination shows megaloblastic anemia, increased MCV, MHC, and macrocyte. So diagnosis is made ready by detection of the characteristic eggs which are present in the stool, surrounded by the eggshell and an operculum at one end and a lobe at the other end. Proglotid with characteristic coiled uterus may be seen in discharge stool. Blood examination, eosinophilia, which is mild to moderate. Evidence of megaloblastic anemia, increased mean corpuscle volume, more than 95. Increased mean corpuscle hemoglobin, normal is 32 to 36 gram per year. Macrocytes are present, which are very large. RBCs, treatment praziquantel 5 to 10 milligram per kg body weight once a day. It is highly recommended and effective drug of choice. Nicotinamide is given alternatively. Parental vitamin B12 can be given if B12 deficiency is manifested. Prevention by properly cooking the fish 10 minutes at 50 degrees Celsius, deep freezing at minus 10 degrees Celsius for 24 hours for the people who enjoy eating raw fish. Tinea species. Tinea species cause two types of manifestation in human intestinal tinniasis and cysticercosis. Classification. Tinea belongs to order Cyclophilidae, family Tiniidae. We have already seen these several species are known to cause human infection. Important are Tinea saginata, also called as leaf tapeworm, causes intestinal tinniasis. Tinea solium causes both intestinal tinniasis and cysticercosis. Cysticercosis is an ancient disease, has also been described in ancient Indian and medical books. The Charak Samhita, it was first described in Greek by Aristophanes and Aristotle in the 3rd century BC. Later, it was noticed in humans by Ptolemy in 1550. Neurocysticercosis was first reported in Coil Kulide from Madras. Sorry, neurocysticercosis was first reported in Kuru from Madras, died due to seizures. Armstrong reported this in 1888. In 1912, Krishnaswamy was the first to report the case of muscle pain in subcutaneous nodules with abundant cysticerci in muscle, heart, and brain through the autopsy. So these adult form of Tinea saginata and sodium reside in small intestine, jejunum, and ileum of humans, whereas the larva of Tinea sodium, Cysticercus cellulosa, resides and forms cystic lesions in muscle, brain, and eyes. Morphologically, they also exist in three forms: adult, early, and larva. Adult one consists of head, scrolled neck, spodular body, all similar to the other. We have just seen eggs following fertilization, eggs released into uterus and feed the gravid properties. Tinea eggs are round. They are round, 30 to 40 micrometer in size, covered by two layers, an outer eggshell capsule filled with yolk material, thin so might be lost, an inner embryophore, brown thick walled and readily striated, surrounded by the embryo. Embryo or oncosphere contains three pairs of hooklet eggs. Tinea saginata and sodium are indistinguishable from each other, except saginata eggs are acid fast and are infective to cattle and pigs respectively. So this is a differentiation. We can differentiate between Tinea saginata and Tinea sodium. Length of Tinea saginata 4 to 6 meter, Tinea sodium 2 to 4 meter. Its colex of saginata is large, sodium is small, globular. Neck is longer of saginata, shorter of sodium. Proglotids of saginata 1000 to 2000, saginata sodium are 800 to 1000. Uterus can bear 15 to 20 lateral branches. In case of saginata and sodium, the branches are 7 to 13. Lobes of ovary are 2. No accessory lobe present in saginata. 3 in case of sodium. 2 lobes with an accessory lobe present in sodium. Testes 300 to 400 follicles in saginata, 150 to 200 follicles in sodium. Vaginal sphincter present in sagittal, it is absent in sodium. So it is about differentiation. Eggs can be differentiated as they are acid fast in sagittal, non-acid fast in sodium. Larva cysticercus bovis present in cattle muscle, but not in man. Sodium cysticercus cellulose present in pig muscle and also in man, muscle, art, and brain. This is caused intestinal kinesis by sagittal, intestinal kinesis, as cysticercosis by sodium. Definitive host is man, intermediate host is cattle in sagittal. Definitive host in intestinal kinesis in sodium is human, intermediate is pig. In cysticercosis, both definitive and intermediate host is man, the sodium. Infective form is larva cysticercus bovis, sagittal, continuous sodium. For intestinal kinesis, larva cysticercus cellulose. For cysticercosis, it is diagnostic form. Tinea saginata is a diagnostic form of sodium. Is intestinal kinesis. For intestinal kinesis, egg cysticercosis, larva, and cysticercus cellulose deposited in the tissue. Mode of transmission: ingestion of contaminated beef in sagittal. Sodium is for intestinal kinesis, ingestion of contaminated food. For cysticercosis, contaminated food and water, and auto-injection. Use of mode of transmission. Okay. So life cycle of Tinea saginata. Host is man, act as a definitive host, cattle serve as an intermediate host. Infective form or infective stage is cysticercus bovis, larval stage. The infective stage for human, while eggs are also infective for cattle. Mode of transmission is ingestion, site of localization, small intestine. Host man definitive, intermediate host cattle, infective stage is cysticercus bovis, larval stage, infective stage for man, infective stage for cattle is the egg. Mode of transmission undercooked meat containing encysted larva stage at cysticercus bovis. Human cycle, larva transform to adult. The larva hatch out in small intestine, ostolysis exvaginated and anchor to the intestinal wall by sucker and gradually develop into adult worm. Adult worm becomes sexually mature in 10 to 14 weeks. Fertilization occurs. Adult worm become mature sexually in 10 to 14 weeks. Fertilization occurs. It may be self or cross fertilization within the segments, and the eggs are formed and later released into the feces. Eggs are infective for cats. Sometimes an older gravid sequence break off and are released in feces. They are quite mobile and migrate in the feces. Cattle cycle, mode of transmission: eggs are ingested by the cows or buffaloes or grazing the field. Eggs transform to larva in duodenum. The embryo core surrounding the egg ruptures, releasing oncosphere. With the help of hooklets, oncosphere penetrates the intestine, reach to the skeletal muscle, where blood may get transformed into bladder-like larva, which is cysticercus bovis, which gets encysted and deposited as a cyst in the muscles and takes 10 to 15 weeks of time. Cysticercus bovis, small 6 to 9 millimeter round. Grayish white bladder-like worm containing opaque invaginated scolex without hooklet. So this is the life cycle. Here, diagrammatic representation. You can see egg or proglotids of Tinea sodium of saginata. They are released in the environment. The feces. I stands for the infective stage and B stands for diagnostic stage. So egg and proglotids are the diagnostic stage. So cattle while grazing and pigs while grazing, they get infected by ingestion of contaminated eggs of gravid proglotids. Oncosphere hatches penetrates the intestinal wall and circulate to the musculature of the egg and cattle, where oncosphere develops into cysticerca in the muscles of pig and cattle. Humans get infected. Ingestion of raw undercooked infected meat, where Cystolysis attaches to the intestine, developing the adult renal fertilized, and then eggs are released. So this is a life cycle. Tinea saginata, big tapeworm, ranges in length from 6 to 30 feet. Geographical distribution, most common, where the poor sanitation and no meat inspection both are combined. Africa and South America, transmission, ingestion of larva from larval from Mandatory. In North America, 1 in 100 is infected. In third world nation, it could be up to 10%. No symptoms, some abdominal discomfort. Diagnosis, finding of egg and prognosis in the feces. So, diagnosis, EM segment prognosis in the seen in the feces, disease cause, digestive disturbances, treatment, glucosamide and plastic. Tinea sodium. Tinea sodium, definitely host is human intermediate with big infected form, cystic surface cellulose, larva, eggs, mode of transmission, ingestion, site of localization in small intestine, life cycle depends on disease caused, when it causes intestinal peniasis, the life cycle exactly like Tinea saginata, except intermediate host is called as poke tapeworm, man harboring adult worm excrete egg in the feces, which can infect the same individual by auto-infection in pigs. Development time is shorter, 7 to 9 years. But the different life cycle is followed when they cause cysticercosis. Definitive host and intermediate host, now man, human, act as a both definitive and intermediate host. Effective form, instead of cysticercosis cellulose, eggs act as an effective form for Tinea sodium for causing cysticercosis in human. Mode of transmission, firstly man acquired infection by ingestion of contaminated food or water, which is with the eggs of Tinea sodium, and next the auto-infection due to the eggs excreted from man can reinfect the same individual. Auto-infection can be of two types: external because of unhygienic personal habitat, internal due to reverse peristalsis movements by which gravid segments throw the eggs back in the stomach. This is equal to stomach. Further life cycle in human, similar to that of pig, oncosphere released from the eggs, penetrate from the intestine, enter into the photocirculation and mesenteric lymphatics and reach to the various organs, like subcutaneous, like, like subcutaneous tissue, muscle, eye, brain, where it transforms to the larval stage, cystic surface cellulose within 7 to 9 weeks and deposit the cyst. Full development takes place 2 to 3 months. Cystic surface cellulose, a mature cystic surface cellulose, measures about 0.5 to 1.5 centimeter in size, spherical or slightly oval, yellowish white, separated from the host tissue by thin cellulose capsule. It contains two chambers. Outer one is bladder like sac filled with 0.5 ml vascular fluid, and the inner chamber contains growing scolex with booklets and spiral canal. Racemose cysticerca. In some cases, when parasites are lodged in spacious area where they grow and transform into larger lobulated cysticerca more than 20 centimeters containing 60 ml of vascular fluid. Pathogenesis. Pathogenesis, clinical feature, intestinal temesis. Both Tinea saginata and Swirling can cause intestinal temesis, often asymptomatic. Complication, patient become aware of the infection most commonly by noting the passage of prognosis in the feces. Prognosis are often mobile and the patient may experience perianal discomfort or pruritus when prognosis are discharged. Mild abdominal pain, discomfort, nausea, loss of appetite, weakness, weight loss, headache, change in bowel habit, constipation, diarrhea, that can occur. Occasionally, there may be obstruction due to migrating prognosis that can result in appendicitis or cholangitis. Cysticercosis. Clinical spectra of the disease depend upon localization of the cyst. So it is discovered from any site of the body, but the common sites are central nervous system, CNS, subcutaneous tissue, skeletal muscle, eyes. Subcutaneous cysticercosis frequently asymptomatic, but may manifest as palpable nodules. Next is muscular cysticercosis, manifest as muscular pain, weakness, and pseudo hypertrophy. Next is ocular cysticercosis, can involve eyelids, conjunctiva, and sclera. Common symptoms like proptosis, diplopia, loss of vision, and slow growing nodule with focal inflammation. Neurocystic sarcosis or NCC. Neurocystic sarcosis is the most common form of and accounts for 60 to 90% cases of cysticercosis, considered the most common parasitic CNS infection in man and the most common cause of adult onset epilepsy throughout the world. Based on the site involvement, NCC is of two types, parenchymal and extraparenchymal. Parenchymal involve brain parenchymal, extraparenchymal sites are meninges, ventricles, and spinal cord. Though brain parenchymal was thought to be the most common site, but recent evidences have shown subarachnoid space being the most common site, followed by the brain parenchyma. Asymptomatic neurocysticercosis remains NCC remains in the brain without causing an apparent symptom. Manifest as seizures, most common manifestation in 70% cases. NCC accounts for 50% of cases of late onset epilepsy. Other features include hydrocephalus, most common extraparenchymal features, increased intracranial pressure, hypotension, presented as headache, vomiting and vertigo, chronic meningitis, focal neurological deficit, psychological disorder, dementia. NCC exists in four morphological stages. It, it starts as vesicular form, gradually develops into nephrotic, followed by nodular, and finally into calcified stage. The clinical presentation is variable and depends on number, location, and size of the cyst, the morphological stage of the cyst, and the post-immune response. Epidemiology. Tinea saginata infection is common in cattle breeding areas of the world, the areas with highest prevalence, up to 27%, including Central Asia, Central and East Africa. Sodium infection is worldwide. Cysticercosis is a major problem, especially in developing world. Sodium infection is endemic, includes Mexico, Central America, South America, Africa, Southeast Asia, India, Philippines, and Southern Europe. NCC is considered as the most common parasitic CNS infection of man and the most common cause of adult onset epilepsy throughout the world, accounting 50% cases of late onset epilepsy. This can be an MCQ. However, it is reported less from Muslim countries like coke eating is not allowed. India previously underreported, accounting 53% of epileptic cases in places like NI, MHANS, Bangalore 2%, Delhi 2.5. It was because lack of symptomatic population based on studies and unavailability of enabling techniques. Recent studies with CT and MRI suggested the disease burden in India varies from 18 to 31%. Suspected cases of epilepsy. It appears to be more prevalent in various places like Bangalore, Bombay, Pondicherry, Chennai. Laboratory diagnosis, stool examination can detect AIDS prognosis, tinea specific, coproantigen detection in stool, ELISA, antibody detection in serum, ELISA, complement fixation, molecular methods like PCR. Stool examination demonstrate characteristic AIDS and less often prognosis of leukemia can be done by IMC. Multiple stool examination and consultation techniques follow with the sedimentation and be followed to increase the detection rate. Anal swabs with serotype swabs are more useful as superior for detection of AIDS in stool. That's true. Eggs of saginata and sodium are morphologically similar, so indistinguishable except tinea saginata egg is as first. And egg has 6 nucleus surrounded by an embryo core. Oncosphere has 6 nucleus surrounded by an embryo core. Prognostics of saginata and sodium can be differentiated by lateral branches in uterus, accessory in the lobes, and expulsion segments. CGRE checks. Codex can be differentiated on the When they detected in feces, rarely sodium stomachs are dark and rosacea and reflex. Specific antigen detection by ELISA, where co-antigen in stool by using polyclonal antibodies can be detected. It is more sensitive than stool examination, detecting unique areas, and it can be differentiated between saginatans. It cannot differentiate between saginatans with variants. Antibody detection in serum using ELISA, complement precision. Antibody methods show variable results and cannot differentiate between past and present infection. Recently, Immunoblot developed sodium species antibodies and claims 95% sensitivity and 100% specificity. Molecular methods for DNA probe polymerase chain reaction has been developed. It can also differentiate two species of Saginata, and Saginata asiatica. Based on mitochondrial DNA, two genotypes of sodium can also be differentiated by these molecular methods, one found in Asia and other in Africa by Telemach. Radiodiagnosis for cystic fibrosis depends on CT and MRI, antibody detection in CSF, Western blot, antigen detection in serum or CSF by ELISA, leukocyte transformation test, histopathology of muscle, eye, subcutaneous tissue, bone biopsy, and Del-Pluto diagnostic criteria. These are the diagnosis for this cystic fibrosis. Histopathology cystic fibrosis can be detected in muscle, eye, subcutaneous tissue, or bone during postmortem or biopsy, following surgical removal of fine needle aspiration of the cyst, followed by microscopic demonstration of the parasite. Del-Pluto diagnostic criteria. This has been proposed for the diagnosis of NCC in many countries. It is based on clinical imaging, immunological, and epidemiological data. Confirmed diagnosis: one absolute criteria, two major criteria, plus one minor criteria, one epidemiological criteria. Probable diagnosis: one major criteria plus two minor criteria, or one major criteria plus one minor criteria plus one epidemiological criteria. Three minor criteria or plus epidemiological criteria. So this is the Del-Pluto diagnostic criteria. Treatment: praziquantel probactase single dose 10 mg per kg of body weight is highly effective. Nicotinamide 2 gram is often effective, but it is not widely available. For cystic fibrosis, antiparasitic agents, so brain parenchymal agents, and bendazole 15 mg per kg per body weight for 8 to 28 days. Praziquantel 50 to 100 mg per kg body weight daily in 3 divided doses, 15 to 30 days. Longer courses are often needed in patients with multiple subarachnoid cystic fibrosis. Symptomatic treatments uses by antiepileptic drugs, high doses glucocorticosteroids should be used to reduce inflammatory reaction caused by the cystic fibrosis. Hydrocephalus adults should be made to reduce intracranial pressure. In cases of obstructive hydrocephalus, cystic fibrosis can be removed by endoscopic surgery or ventricular peritoneal stenting. Surgery open cavity to remove cystic fibrosis is rarely required. Nowadays, surgery is indicated for ocular and spinal and ventricular lesion because anti-parasitic drugs can provoke irreversible inflammatory damage. Prevention: intestinal stenosis can be prevented by adequate cooking, beef and pork viscera, exposure to temperature as low as 50-60 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes, refrigeration or salting longer periods of freezing, -10 degrees for 9 days, effective fecal disposal, prevention of infection in cattle and pigs, prevention of cystic fibrosis, good personal hygiene, prevent upper infection with eggs, effective fecal disposal, prevent contamination of food and water with eggs, treatment and prevention of urinary intestinal infection, vaccine to prevent food sign, cystic fibrosis, various antigens like sodium, oncosphere antigen are attempted for vaccination of pigs. They are under development. So thank you, students. We have seen all the systems for today's class. Expected question can be long question answer. 15 marks. Describe life cycle pathogenesis and laboratory diagnosis of sodium. Describe life cycle pathogenesis and lab diagnosis of type Short questions: diagnosis of neurocystic fibrosis, differentiation, sodium and saginata, eggs and larva, MCQs. You can read all the MCQs. First example, which of the following system does not have a postulum and the answer is C, that is clearance agenda. Which of the following system is not unstable? Answer is A, HLM. Humans acquire cysticercosis infection by all except D, ingestion of contaminated pig fluid. Which of the following system does not need any intermediate host? Example, answer is A, HLM. So thank you all for patient listening. If you have any doubt or query, you can contact anytime. Stay home, stay safe.